Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be taking a look at Guneet Singh.
Okay.
And we've got a lot to work with here. We've got bios, assessments, career highlights.
Yeah.
Ton of interesting stuff. Definitely more than you would find on, say, LinkedIn.
Definitely. Yeah, we're getting to see behind the curtain a little bit, beyond just the finished product of, someone's career, right? Like getting to see how they got there.
Exactly, yeah. And with Guneet specifically, it's a pretty fascinating picture, but we're not going to start there. We're going to start with a story. So, do you remember that Google reunion campaign?
Oh, yeah.
I think most people, it was Google's first major brand campaign in India. I think it really resonated with a lot of people.
For sure. And beyond, just the commercial success of it, which, it had over 20 million users, 9% jump in Google searches. It had a real emotional impact as well. Like it was even winning awards at Cannes,
It's one of those campaigns that sticks with you,
Yeah.
And it gives us a little bit of a glimpse, I think, into Guneet's leadership, because he was really the one kind of leading the charge on that.
Yeah.
And I think it shows that, he understands that connecting with people emotionally is just as important as, selling a product.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And that's something that's evident, I think, throughout his career, even from his early days, starting at Samsung, launching consumer electronics, then going into like the high stakes world of being a marketing consultant at Quadra Advisory, part of the WPP group.
Talk about a fast paced environment, right?
Yeah, like he really had a front row seat to the biggest brands in the world and how they work. And you can see that, that experience, I think, influenced his move to Microsoft as head of product marketing for Windows in India.
Yeah, and he really started to, to shake things up.
Yeah.
Because he totally transformed their go-to-market strategy for Windows, made it way more user-centric, or in other words, he really made it about the people who were actually using it,
Totally. And it worked. It led to the highest growth for Windows in the entire Asia-Pacific region.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is incredible. And, this actually led to him getting this Circle of Excellence award from Bill Gates himself.
Gates? Okay, so that's a pretty good resume booster right there.
Oh, yeah.
So we can already see this pattern of, Guneet taking on these huge challenges and absolutely crushing them.
Yeah.
And that takes us to his time at Google, which is where I think he really cemented himself as a powerhouse in the tech world.
Totally. He was head of product marketing for all of Google's biggest consumer products in India: Search, Chrome, Android, YouTube, everything.
Yeah, it's like the whole shebang.
It really is. And you can tell from that, like he has this deep understanding of both B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer marketing in one of the, most exciting, fastest growing tech markets in the world.
And he also found time in there to found Ignition Labs, which is Google's creative professional services team. So they basically work with teams within Google to make sure that they're putting out really top-tier creative work.
Yeah, they're like the secret sauce.
Yeah, the secret sauce behind some of Google's most impactful work.
Exactly.
Which I think is a real testament to his ability to build and scale these teams that make a real difference.
For sure. And it wasn't just internal teams either. He also spearheaded this partnership with Truecaller, the caller ID app.
Oh, yeah. I use that.
Yeah, it's super popular. It combined AdSense, Google Duo, even Google Cloud. Like this was a true one Google approach, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And so, he's obviously got this incredible track record of success, but I'm really interested to dive in a little bit more to, what makes him tick, what kind of leader is he?
Yeah.
And luckily, we've got some personality assessments that I think give us a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, and we're not talking your average BuzzFeed quiz here. We're talking in-depth analysis, like the Korn Ferry leadership traits and drivers assessment. It really highlighted his this interesting balance he has, this tendency to blend new and tested approaches to problem solving.
Okay.
Like he's not afraid to innovate, but he also sees the value in proven strategies.
Which makes sense when you think about how he totally revamped the Windows go-to-market strategy at Microsoft.
Exactly.
It wasn't like he just threw everything out and started from scratch. It was more like, how do we take what's working and make it even better.
For sure, for sure. And this assessment also kind of described him as a little bit more on the reserved side.
Right.
Like a very supportive leader, but someone who empowers their team rather than needing to be the loudest voice in the room, you know?
Right. So he's more kind of like the calm at the center of the storm, like
Yeah.
guiding and supporting rather than dictating.
Exactly.
But that's not to say that he's not ambitious, you know?
Yeah.
Because the Korn Ferry assessment also talked about his drive for independence, you know,
Yeah.
always wanting to take on more responsibility, always aiming higher.
Yeah, he's got that drive. He thrives on autonomy, you know,
Yeah.
like he has this clear desire to lead, to make a real impact. It's that combination of ambition and empowering leadership, I think, is so interesting.
For sure. For sure. And it's not just the Korn Ferry assessment that shows this. We also have his Gallup StrengthsFinder results.
Yes.
And they kind of paint a similar picture.
Yeah, his top strength is realtor, which is all about building genuine, trusting relationships.
Okay.
Which, when you think about it, that's the foundation of any strong team.
It's like he gets that to be a really good leader, it's not about telling people what to do, it's about empowering them, right?
Yeah, totally. And having those strong relationships is so key for that.
For sure.
And, you know, it's not just about being, like, friendly. It's about genuinely seeing and valuing the people you work with.
Right.
And the Strengths Finder kind of reinforces that. Another one of his top strengths was deliberative, meaning he's a thoughtful decision maker, always thinking about the potential downsides.
Okay, which makes total sense. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't end up with, you know, a track record like his by just jumping into things without a plan.
Right. He's not just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But he's not just like, you know, overly cautious either.
Yeah.
Because another top strength in the Strength Finder was achiever, meaning he's super driven, super productive.
Yeah. He's got that, you know, rare combination of being strategic, but also action oriented. He can think big picture, but he also has that drive to actually get things done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we can't forget significance and strategic. Those rounded out his top 5. So significance points to his desire to do work that really has an impact.
Yeah.
You know, like he's not content to just check boxes.
Right.
He wants to make a difference.
Make a dent in the universe.
Exactly. Exactly. And then strategic, well, I mean, we've kind of seen that throughout his entire career, right?
Oh, yeah.
His ability to like connect the dots, to anticipate future trends. I mean, it's all right there in his work.
For sure. It's like he can see the whole chessboard, you know, while everyone else is focused on just their little corner of it.
Yeah, totally, totally. But here's the thing. It's not like this strategic thinking is just, you know, reserved for like the business world for him.
Okay.
Because this also extends to like his desire to help other people.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not just about, you know, climbing the corporate ladder for him. He actually co-founded this nonprofit called 3min.life, which focuses on combating air pollution.
Oh, wow.
Which is obviously a huge issue in a lot of the world. And he's also really involved in mentoring and coaching, both like, you know, startups and younger professionals.
That's amazing.
So you can tell that he's really passionate about using, you know, all the experience that he's gained, all the insights to, you know, help others find success.
Yeah, it really speaks to his character. It's not just, you know, something he does on the side. He walks the walk.
Right. Yeah, totally. And I mean, his team members rave about him. Like one of them said that Guneet inspires each and every person in the team to go a level beyond. He's always inspired the team to step it up, challenge the status quo, drive innovation.
That's powerful stuff.
It's a pretty powerful testament
Yeah.
to the kind of leader that he is. It's like he's creating this ripple effect. You know,
Totally.
it's not just like individuals that he's inspiring, but entire teams to really strive for excellence.
And, you know, I think that circles back to that realtor strength too. Like when you build those strong relationships with people, it creates that foundation of trust where people feel like they can take risks, they can try new things, they can innovate.
Totally. Yeah. He creates an environment where people feel empowered, like they can be their most creative selves.
Yeah.
And speaking of creativity, there's actually one more assessment that we have on him, which is the Adobe Creative Type Assessment. And this one identified him as an adventurer.
An adventurer. Huh. That makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Right.
His career path,
Right.
you know, it speaks to that, you know, creative energy that he has.
Totally.
This natural curiosity, a real knack for like entertaining and inspiring others.
Yeah. He's always, you know, seeking out those new experiences,
Yeah.
new challenges. He's not afraid to take risks or try something different. And I think that fearlessness is a big part of what makes him such an effective leader.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can't innovate if you're terrified of failing.
Exactly.
You have to be willing to push boundaries, experiment.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And Guneet, he embodies that.
He does. He
Yeah.
does. And it really makes you wonder, like, what other creative projects, has he been a part of? What other stories are kind of hidden within all of these achievements? Like, I feel like we're just scratching the surface with this guy.
It's true, and it makes you curious to see what he does next.
Absolutely.
Especially given his, fascination with this intersection between humans and AI.
Right, right. He's really interested in this idea of AI, not just, being used for efficiency, but actually being used to empower people,
Right.
to boost their productivity so that they have more time to pursue their passions, which, I think kind of brings us to an interesting question for our listeners.
Okay, I like where this is going.
How can we, as individuals, harness the power of AI, not just to work more efficiently, but to find more personal fulfillment?
Ooh, that's a good one.
To really grow as people.
It is. It is. That's something worth thinking about.
It is.
And it really speaks to, his forward-thinking approach. The fact that he's already thinking about this stuff, trying to figure out how technology can shape a better future.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We still have, one more piece of the puzzle to look at when it comes to Guneet's journey.
Oh, really? What's that?
It's his passion for learning, for growing. Remember those Barrett value drivers and the Korn Ferry assessments?
Yeah.
They both highlighted this drive he has to constantly learn and evolve and to help others do the same,
It's like he's always moving forward. Yeah.
Always striving for that next level of growth. He achieves something and it's like, okay, what's next? How can I learn more? How can I achieve more?
Right. It's like he's not content to just rest on his laurels.
No, not at all.
Which I think is huge, especially in tech, because it's not enough to just be an expert in what you do today, right?
Right, totally. Yeah, the landscape is constantly changing. You got to be a lifelong learner, for sure.
Right. You have to be constantly, evolving, adapting. Absolutely. And he totally embodies that.
He does.
It's like he's not afraid to get out of his comfort zone, to really embrace new challenges, new opportunities to grow.
Yeah, and it's so inspiring to see him, extend that to his team.
Yeah.
He's always looking for ways to help other people develop, to help them grow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like he's creating this culture of continuous learning where everyone feels empowered to expand their skills, expand their knowledge base.
Exactly.
And that's the sign of a truly great leader, someone who's really invested in the growth and the success of the people around them.
It's not just about him. It's about the legacy he's building.
Totally.
A legacy of, growth and innovation, which is something we can all learn from regardless of what we do.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good reminder that, learning is a lifelong journey. We all have the capacity to grow, to change.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into the world of Guneet Singh, I want to leave our listeners with this face.
Okay. What's about?
Think about, what are you really passionate about? What are you curious about? And don't be afraid to pursue those things, to, embrace challenges, just like Guneet has done his whole career. You never know. You might just achieve some really incredible things yourself.
Beautifully said. It really is a testament to, the power of curiosity, of ambition, and a genuine desire to make a difference.
Absolutely.
Great episode.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.